I can't believe you all came in this horrible weather. What dedication. Now, I have to tell you that I'm freezing. I'm not nervous, I'm just freezing. And I'm not sick, my nose is running because I'm freezing. Anyway, I would like to welcome everybody and thank you, thank you, thank you for all your support. We have the most extraordinary season coming up, but it's all dependent on you, on your attendance, on your generosity, and on your support. So again, thanks. You know, it's so important to me that everybody recognizes that sponsorship and membership is so much more than perks and getting tickets and getting recognition. It is the lifeblood that keeps us going. So again, thank you. I'd also like to make special thanks to all our volunteers, to our Action Council, to our Friends of SPAC, which is the junior committee. We don't use that word anymore. They're now the Friends of SPAC, and our board of directors, and all the volunteers that we have that make SPAC happen. You know, COVID taught us a lot of things. It was a nasty thing, but it taught us a lot of things. It taught us that people love to hear about what goes on behind the scenes to make a ballet. And so we're going to open our 22 season with the New York City Ballet On and Off Stage program. And this is a behind-the-scenes look at what goes into the ballet, and it will explain all the ballets that they're doing the preceding nights. We also learned that people want to go to bed earlier. They want an earlier evening. So we're going to start our ballet and our orchestra nights at 7:30. But I think the most important thing we learned from COVID is people love to gather. We really are social beings, and that was the most horrible thing about COVID is we couldn't gather. And so I'm really encouraging everybody to get here early. Of course, you can have picnics on the lawn, but also we now have the Julie Bonaccio Family Pavilion. It's a great place to have picnics. And the patrons patio, which is right next to the Charlie Gate, that is for the patrons, but it has an open bar and munchies. So we encourage you to enjoy that. And then there is the Pines. And the Pines has a fabulous view. You can kind of see it way up there. And that is for our President Circle members. So we, of course, would love to talk to you about enhancing your experience at SPAC so that you can join those different venues. I can honestly say we've got something for everybody. I would be totally remiss if I didn't thank once again Live Nation, the New York State Parks, and the Empire State Development for their generous funding of the Pines. It really has transformed our campus. And because of the Pines, we can have some indoor programming, and also we can look at doing a year-round program. And after this annual meeting, we will be having a reception up there so you can see it for yourselves. And please look at the Merce My Way photographs, which are in the lobby going up to the Nancy DeCrest room. And now, for the meeting's agenda, we are going to start with Charles Waite, and he's the governance chair and just elected vice chair, and he's going to introduce the board members that are going to be elected. And then the vote will be casted by Norma Meacham, who is our assistant secretary of the board. Linda Toohey is the treasurer, and she will give you the financials. And then Elizabeth Sobel, the president and CEO of SPAC, will give you a comprehensive report. Now, I know Elizabeth is going to talk about how important her dedicated staff is, but I think it's really important for everybody to recognize that Elizabeth's extraordinary leadership has been so important to SPAC's success. We could actually clap. And finally, we have Dennis Mensch, who's another rock star, and he's the Vice President of Education, and he's going to be sharing our latest venture, SOTA, School of the Arts, which is held at the Louis A. Swire studio. And I guarantee you are going to leave this meeting with your feet tapping and your mouth smiling.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. As chair of the Governance Committee of the Board of Directors, I am pleased to place into nomination the following slate of directors and propose their re-election for a 3-year term ending in May 2025. Sonny Bonaccio, Susan Law Dake, Geraldine Golub, Richard Higgins, Donald J. McCormick, Andrea Spungen, and Linda G. Toohey. And now I'd like to welcome Norma Meacham to the podium.
Hello. Anybody who would like to review remarks from last year's meeting can access it on SPAC's website at spac.org. As Assistant Secretary of the Board, I call upon all members in attendance to cast their vote for the slate of directors for re-election to the board for a term of 3 years. In addition, I will cast a vote in favor of the slate of directors on behalf of 123 proxies. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Hearing no nays, aye carries.
Each year, SPAC's financial statements are audited by an independent certified accounting firm. This is done to ensure that the financial information that's distributed to the board, to management, and to the public at large is complete, it's accurate, and proper internal controls are in place to safeguard SPAC's assets. This year, the audit was performed by BST & Company CPAs. Their unmodified opinion states that the financial statements are in fact presented fairly in all material respects and do represent SPAC's financial position as of December 31, 2021, and that the results of its operations for the year then ended are in conformity with accounting principles generally accepted. SPAC's complete audited 2021 financial statements are available on our website, spac.org. You go to the About section, and then you look for the board, and you will see the financial statements, the bylaws, and other materials. Total operating income for 2021 was $10.14 million. Total operating expenses were $5.92 million, leaving SPAC with operating reserves of $4 million. Our plans to utilize these reserves will be discussed by Elizabeth Sobel in just a few minutes. Please remember, though, that when we talk about operating surplus or deficit, this does not include any depreciation, income, gains, or losses from investments, or any unrealized changes in the fair value of our investments. These items tend to distort the bottom line, as these are items which we have little or no control over. Total contributed income in 2021 was $3.75 million, up from $3.6 in 2020, but still down from our pre-COVID numbers, which were approximately $5 million, primarily due to the cancellation of substantially all of our regularly planned fundraising events. But the level of support that was exhibited by our members, our ticket buyers, and board in times of great uncertainty and economic stress is a tribute to the incredible spirit of generosity that exists throughout the Capital Region and beyond. As of today, the endowment fund totals $10.4 million, down from $10.7 at this time last year, primarily as a result of unfavorable market trends. As we move forward through the uncertainty of 2022 and the current turbulent economic environment, your support is now as important as it ever has been. Only with your continued support will SPAC remain a place where the Capital Region and our visitors from around the globe can come together to enjoy world-class performances, extraordinary educational experiences, and a unique cultural events year after year and year-round. Thank you, and I turn this to Elizabeth.
Hello, everybody. Wow, it is cold. So thank you so much, members, for joining us today. And as always, thank you for your critical and ongoing support of SPAC. Thank you, you amazing members of the board, for your vision and continued generosity. Thank you, the unbelievable, amazing SPAC staff. And thank you, Action Council and Friends of SPAC, for your dedicated and tireless work on behalf of this organization. Thank you, partners, Live Nation, resident companies, parks partners, cultural partners. We're so happy to have you here today. Thank you so much, Assemblywoman Carrie Warner, Deputy Mayor Angela Rella, Saratoga County Deputy Administrator Ridge Harris, Daryl Legere of Discover Saratoga. We so appreciate your presence here today. Now, before proceeding to my prepared remarks, I wanted to take a moment to pay tribute to someone whose recent passing has left a huge hole in our lives. I am sure that no one in Saratoga needs to be told what an enormous role Jane Waite played in the health and spirit of the city, nor of her importance to SPAC. For me personally, she was an ever-present, kind, and generous soul, and we shared a mutual love of chamber music, gardens, and moss. I would often arrive at the office in the morning to find a handwritten note from her, sending me words of encouragement or recounting interesting, often amusing anecdotes that continued to fill in the blanks of my own sense of the history of SPAC, the history of Yaddo, and the history of my newly adopted city. I know we will all be forever grateful to Jane, and as a small token of remembrance, we are dedicating our whole Chamber Music Society of Lincoln Center residency this summer to her. We hope to see you there. So, here we are in May 2020, or 2022. Gee, I went back quickly to COVID. Poised to open one of the most exhilarating SPAC seasons ever. But first, let's take this moment to acknowledge where we were 2 years ago with the sudden cancellation of our entire season and reflect upon the journey we've taken together to arrive at this day when we can allow ourselves a deep sigh of relief and, I don't know, perhaps even a few celebratory yelps of joy. Or maybe we'll wait till we get up to the Pines Terrace to do that. Like the Carner blue butterflies that adorn the cover of our 2022 season brochure, it is none too dramatic to say that we felt at times as if we too were about to join the endangered species list. But like the Carner Blues, we too had a tremendous number of friends and supporters like you, our generous, committed, and beloved community. Your support allowed us not only to survive, but even to thrive and recreate ourselves during some of the most perilous days of the pandemic. During the early ravages of the COVID shutdown, we swiftly recalibrated our entire operation and created SPAC Reimagined, a virtual season that brought over 60 hours of digital content into the homes of students and arts lovers. From July to December, we fashioned an intimate series of 200 events on our Pines campus, welcoming 10,000 people safely back to SPAC, 50 people at a time, for film nights, culinary nights, Tai Chi, meditation, dance, drumming, and art classes. In 2021, fulfilling our promise to bring home our resident companies one way or the other, SPAC Reawakened created a COVID-customized season of jazz, ballet, orchestra, and chamber music that looked different from any other previous year, but safely reunited and reinvigorated the SPAC family with a wondrous amalgam of music, dance, and nature. Like so many individuals and organizations, the last 2 years have tested us mightily, but they have also called upon our deeper wells of creativity, compassion, resilience, and imagination. So that now in summer 2022, in a full return of SPAC, renewed and rejuvenated, we are like our Carner Blues, reemerging glorious and beautiful after being cocooned for so long. This is a watershed moment. This splendid reemergence is accompanied and made possible by an historic and unprecedented confluence of favorable financial factors. As mentioned by Linda Toohey, due to drastically reduced 2021 expenses, the utilization of federal emergency relief funds through PPP and the Shuttered Venues Operators Grant, and thanks to you and your steadfast generosity, SPAC, for the first time in its history, ended 2021 with reserves of $4 million. And this unprecedented situation has meant that for the first time ever, SPAC has been able to restore and renew itself across its whole operation, including reinvestment in its resident companies. First and foremost, we were able to renew our remarkable staff, SPAC's truest treasure, which constantly created magic with only a skeleton crew all throughout the pandemic. Staff size has now been restored to pre-COVID scale and even added to with several new positions, a critical move given that this is the biggest, most ambitious season SPAC has presented in recent decades. Moving on to the amphitheater, this year we welcomed New York City Ballet back to the stage with a brand new dance floor, replacing the 55-year-old floor that was actually becoming unsafe to dance upon, and a brand new house curtain, replacing a decades-old curtain that was literally in tatters. After 55 years of borrowing chairs and stands from the high school for one of the greatest orchestras in the whole world, SPAC was finally able to purchase its own 150 new chairs and stands fit for the fabulous Philadelphia Orchestra. In addition, yes, well worth the applause. In addition to the major campus transformation represented by the Pines, we have continued with our partners at Live Nation to improve the amphitheater and grounds. We are underway with a renovation of the backstage, which has been virtually untouched since 1966, to make a safer, more modern, and comfortable facility for artists, crew, and staff. Again, with Live Nation, the Performers Gate and Road area will be reconfigured, addressing important safety issues. For the first time ever, at the request of numerous patrons and in a continuing effort to improve accessibility, we are installing an assisted listening system here in the amphitheater. And of equal importance for acoustics and sound, we have a brand new sound system, replacing equipment that dates back literally to the 1990s. Yes, that too. All the signage around the campus will be new, and as of yesterday, we broke ground on a new Route 50 digital sign. Our antiquated ticketing and donor software has been completely replaced, and a brand new website will be revealed in fall 2022, all of this geared to a better online patron experience. We have invested in new marketing and PR partnerships intended not only to bring new and more diverse audiences to SPAC, but to drive cultural tourism to Saratoga, further raising our reputation as an incomparable year-round cultural tourism destination and contributing to the economic health of our city, county, and region far beyond the busy July and August season. All of this, along with other desperately needed repairs in and around the campus, represents an investment of roughly $2 million. While we have been reinvesting in the renewal of our campus and our organization, we have been simultaneously investing in our programming. This summer, for instance, we have brought back in one season both superstars, Joshua Bell and Yo-Yo Ma. And we are closing the season with Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, fittingly called the Ode to Joy, with the Philadelphia Orchestra and Yannick Nézet-Séguin, joined by our region's own Albany Pro Musica. We have significantly expanded the number and diversified the offering of new works and new artists, including a record number of SPAC premieres, a record number of new voices, and a record number of SPAC commissions. Over the last 2 years, we began new initiatives, such as WAMC at SPAC, literary events featuring WAMC's own Joe Donahue, one of our region's most beloved figures, and culinary arts at SPAC. As an organization dedicated to providing experiences that connect people and people to our planet, nothing is more powerful than sharing a meal. As profound as sharing the experience of a great symphony or a great ballet, a great meal can be a transformative moment, making an art of one of our most basic shared needs. We learned this when we began presenting culinary events in October of 2020, while many of our restaurants were still closed down. It turned out to be one of the greatest gifts we could give the community. Putting money into the pockets of chefs, hospitality workers, and farmers who are out of work, while giving the community safe opportunities for communal gathering around food. And we found that while offering these events to the community, we in turn were bringing in new ticket buyers, new members, and new donors to SPAC. We will shortly be announcing an exciting return to fall and winter programming. We are once again truly grateful to our partners at Parks. Thanks to their investment in the Spa Little Theater, repairs will be done this summer, which will allow us to go back into the theater at the end of August. Now, over the last few years, we have been continuing our efforts at collaborations promoting cultural tourism and Saratoga County as a cultural destination. We partner with Opera Saratoga, Cafe Lena, Skidmore College, The Tang, to launch a new cultural tourism initiative along with the Saratoga County Chamber, City Center, and Discover Saratoga, funded by Empire State Development, I Love New York, with additional support from Saratoga County. This major media campaign is currently running now through the end of June, targeting communities from the New York City metro area to the Hudson Valley, from northern New Jersey to Connecticut and the Berkshires. In partnership with the City of Saratoga, Cafe Lena, Saratoga Arts, the Tang Museum, and Yaddo, we spearheaded a cultural tourism celebration, All Together Now, Arts Reopening Celebration in Saratoga, with an aim to nationally position Saratoga as a vibrant city where the arts light up our collective lives 365 days a year. With Saratoga Arts and the Tang, we have collaborated to bring to Saratoga Dance Around Town, a photographic celebration. Stunning photos you will be able to see throughout the summer at our respective locations. And by the way, as Susan mentioned, those of you who are here on campus today, you can see these Baryshnikov Merce My Way photos in the Pines building. Most importantly, we have been investing in education. In previous years, we have talked about the extraordinary expansion of our education program, growing from 5,000 to 50,000 students served throughout the Capital Region. And that investment and growth took another huge leap last fall when, thanks to support from Stewart's and the Dake Family Foundation, we launched the brand new SPAC School of the Arts at the Louis A. Swire Studios. We brought in our first visiting artist, presidential inaugural poet Richard Blanco, whose final event with SPAC will take place this June 5 at the return of the Adirondack Trust Company Festival of Young Artists, truly one of our most joyful and inspiring events all year. All in all, the news is good and promising for SPAC's future. But at the same time, we must be vigilant. What COVID taught us is that, like the Karner Blues, arts organizations live in fragile ecosystems, with subsistent survival from year to year. For many years, our financial outlook, which was largely one of scarcity, led us to defer important organizational and infrastructure investments, leaving us exceedingly vulnerable and exposed. And without the essential help of PPP and SVOG funds, SPAC on the other end of COVID would have found itself in very different circumstances, still standing, but significantly weakened. So while we are grateful for SPAC's strong standing here today, we must also be mindful of looming pressures at our gates. We, like nonprofits and corporate entities alike, already face quickly rising pay rates, skyrocketing costs of supplies and equipment, continued precarity related to the public health crisis, and many are considering whether or when the nation might be heading toward a recession. SPAC must heed these signals and set aside reserves for the days ahead. Even in pre-COVID years, the shortfall on our 4 weeks of classical amphitheater programming regularly exceeds $2 million. And every year, despite the shortfalls, all those costs go up. As a result, this year's classical residency shortfall is likely to be even greater than in any previous year. We must find ways to cover that gap, including building reserves to ensure our world-class signature residencies well into the future. Therefore, we are announcing today that we are setting aside the remaining $2 million of the reserves as the start of a fund for the future. This will help us to ensure that the classical arts at SPAC can thrive while we continue to deepen our commitment to inclusion, diversity, equity, and accessibility through expanding programming and initiatives. It is our hope to eventually grow these reserves. We are currently looking deeply at SPAC's funding potential as part of our strategic planning process, and growing the fund for the future will be one aspect of that long-range planning. Today, however, we take the step to boldly reaffirm our commitment to our signature programming and to what has become our most important work in the community, arts education. Particularly in these difficult times, it is essential to provide children and youth throughout the region with opportunities for discovery, joy, connection, and the kinds of transformative experiences that are available only through the arts. So let's have a look at what SPAC's education programs are doing.
Our mission at SPAC is to ensure that everyone experiences the transformative power of the arts. That's why our arts education programs inspire more than 50,000 students each year. SPAC works with more than 120 schools and nonprofit organizations in the Saratoga, Adirondack, and Capital Regions of New York State. single year, SPAC offers more than 400 education events at no cost to participants. And a growing number of students are reached through our online education platforms, as well as year-round music, theater, and dance classes provided at the SPAC School of the Arts. This is how we know firsthand that art has the power to change lives. Join SPAC and help us celebrate the artist in everyone.
And now, I would like to introduce the person whose vision has made all of this possible, our Vice President of Education, Dennis Minch.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Hello, everyone. So over the past 5 years, we've expanded SPAC's education programming exponentially in schools and community facilities all over the Capital Region. And now, with the addition of the SPAC School of the Arts at the Louis A. Swire Studios, the future of arts education at SPAC is limitless. The SPAC School of the Arts, better known to our students as SOTA, is a multidisciplinary arts school that seeks to challenge our understanding of what arts education is, to overcome barriers that often prevent access, and to reveal the many untapped benefits that accompany participation in the arts. At SOTA, our goal is not just to teach our students how to dance, act, sing, or play an instrument. We teach them how to create dance, music, and theater. Our students learn how to use art as a vehicle to explore diverse topics and cultures, to connect with others, to learn new perspectives, and discover joy, confidence, and a deeper sense of self. Within the first 4 months, the SPAC School of the Arts grew to have more than 300 enrolled students between the ages of 18 months and 84 years old. And the school continues to grow and develop to meet the needs of its students and the community. We are grateful to all of our students and their families for supporting our school and helping it grow in many new and exciting ways this first year. Now, I'm joined today by our Director of Theater at SOTA, Jacqueline Raymond-Wegman. Yes. As well as SPAC's Director of School Programs, Jill Zygo, and several of our students. Yes. And they are here today so that you can learn firsthand what arts education at SOTA means to them.
Hello, my name is Clementine Getman, and I think that SPAC, otherwise known as School of the Arts, is an amazing place for kids to go. And I think it's helped me discover that I can be a better person this way. And I think that the activities here are amazing, whether it's taking acting class with Jacqueline, or whether it's doing dance class with Erin, or doing piano class with JP, or doing warm-ups with Sydney. And I think that every kid, just like me, deserves to go here and have their voice be part of one big voice.
Hi, my name is Lily Turner, and I'm going to be honest. When I first came to SOTA, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I thought I was just going to take a theater class, maybe learn a thing or two, but I ended up gaining family and friends that I'm never going to lose. I have learned so much and grown so much throughout this process, and I would not be who I am today without Soda and their amazing, amazing staff. Thank you guys so much.
Hi, my name is Xavier Adams, and I've always personally felt that being able to express yourself creatively and both artistically is something essential that everybody should try to look for within themselves. And now that I've been a part of the classes here at SPAC and I've been able to see the behind the scenes and what it's like, I truly believe that SPAC does present the best opportunity to do those things. And it's why I'm personally, along with everybody else here, hopefully, been such a supporter of the SPAC classes. Thank you.
Thank you, Xavier and Lily and Clementine and all the amazing students here with us today. And thank you all. Again, my name is Jacqueline Wegman, the Director of Theater. And I'm again, so privileged to teach these amazing young people and to have them join us today. So to kind of close out our meeting, we would love to share with you something we do at SODA. It's called a call and response. And its purpose is to kind of foster community and ensemble. And this kind of chant was created by the students, for the students. So we're going to do an example first, and then we're going to ask you, please, if you will get your theater kit on and be brave and join us in the second time that we run this. So first we'll teach it to you. So it goes like this. Lift up my voice, lift up Deanna's voice. We are one voice. Okay, so the second lift up is you call a friend's name out. So Dennis or Jill or anyone, yeah. Okay, so and we have signs. So if don't be shy, so if you can join us, that would be awesome. Thank you. Okay, so here we go. One more time. Lift up my voice, lift up Dennis's voice. We are one voice. Yes, thank you.
Okay, you never should get on stage with cute kids. This meeting is now adjourned, and we really want you to come up and enjoy the reception up at the Pines. So please do that. Take care. Thank you for coming. You did it great.